come from a different country and we all settled in Australia. So we all have those similar sort of thing that we might not be able to understand the people, or we sort of wonder that the landscape is so incredibly dry and where is the green grass, and they talk about the snowy mountains. We sort of look at each other and think, well, where are the mountains?
All cultures have got, something special, and when you talk about multiculturalism, people living together in harmony, they all bring something special.
If you think about Australia, you think about a country life and just the rest and peace and just large views.
The haze and the eucalyptus smell was something that we were told to expect, and I do remember smelling that eucalyptus smell.
Just as you imagine it, it's Australia with browns and yellows and just vast and wide.
As a woman, Australia is a beautiful country for women. We have the right to say what we want. We have the equal opportunity here. Big difference from Thailand.
I never thought I would be sent to Australia because I was told we only send male and farmer to Australia. It's going to be too rough for a girl to go to Australia, and especially if you don't have any farming background or don't have a degree in farming.
It had snowed in Canberra when we landed and it was -7. And we had come from Iran where it was 41. So it was a bit of everything of a shock, like a climate shock and culture shock and everything, yeah.
I feel warm when I live in Australia because I like countryside. I don't like the big city. And I think Cooma is the same, my hometown. In the countryside, people welcome, people nice.
Very safe place, especially Cooma. Children just go out to play, no any problem, it won't happen in China.
I never felt outsider very much, except for the language. I'm a very open person, and I quickly find friends. But at the beginning it was very hard.
The difficult thing for me is the language. Affects everything.
Before we came to Australia, I didn't think I had an accent. And it's only when you start speaking to people that you become so conscious of when they don't understand what you're saying.
I could only speak 3 words of English, and they were please, thank you, and I love you.
So I went up to the post office to mail a thesis back to South Africa, and I needed it to be couriered to the university. So when I went in and I said, I'd like to have this package couriered to this venue, and they said, oh, you want to send it to Korea? I'm going, no, I don't want to send it to Korea, I want it couriered to this place. So she goes, oh, you want to go to South Africa via Korea? And I said, no, I think I'll just write it for you what I want to happen.
When we came here, we have to learn more about the way they talk. For example, have a good day, hi mate, thank you darling. Everyone can say darling, but now sometimes I say thank you darling as well.
I've had so many experiences. People just come in and they look at me and they decide beforehand, before they even talk to me, that they're not going to understand me. And you can pick that expression very quickly because they are just looking at my lips. They're not looking at me at all, because they have already made up their mind that I'm not from here, so I'm going to have a funny accent. So they're not going to understand me. So if I could change that, just probably broaden that horizon a bit.
I used to get really upset when somebody said no worries, because I thought, like I'm not good enough to, handle whatever that situation was. So, but later on I came to know they didn't mean any offense.
I was a very confident person. I always can talk with different kind of person, different kinds of people. I have no problem talking with people. Always very confident. But here, a group of people there, I just sit there, say nothing, because I try to understand them. When I understand, I try to respond, and they already change topic. So, so not very quick thinking, cannot quick response. So I just sit there, very quiet, becomes a very quiet person, yeah, and not confident.
You swallow a lot of pride when you when you migrate, because effectively you start from the bottom again. So even though you've had many years of experience within your field, essentially you might as well have been on Mars the last 15 years because there's no frame of reference.
I felt very lonely and homesick, and many times I cover myself with a blanket and have a good cry. So that was the beginning, but now I love Australia very much.
I think everything in life is a little bit impossible. You know, always it's something you miss, or something is not quite in the right place, or something. So I prefer don't think much about that and just enjoy that moment.
I miss the food so much, and even sometimes I cannot sleep. Lie down there and thinking different kinds of food, how delicious they are, and the daytime I try to think how to make the food. How can I make the food? But of course, some food I can, but some cannot. You cannot get the things, cannot buy the things here.
The first thing and they asked me was, do you like snacks? And I said, I don't know what that is, but I'll have it. And since we're so used to trying different food, we said, yeah, we'll have it. And there comes a sausage out in a bread, and I said, why do you call it a snack? And the man says, we just call it.
Our neighbour stuck her head over the fence and said, would we like to come across for a barbie? And I just stared blankly at her, because in South Africa, a barbie means a hangover.
That was my first sausage. It took, I didn't like the taste. It was a bit funny to eat something that elongated tubular. And then I just asked them so what's it? And he said, the meat, and it's in the intestine, and that just went, oh my God.
When I had a Vegemite, I was so salty. It looks like a chocolate. And then, as soon as when I ready to eat, and there wasn't smell of chocolate. And then I said, I wonder what it is. And my husband said, just you have a taste, because he won't tell me what it is. And then as soon as when I bite, I'm going to go, this is really unique taste.
ANU teacher invited me for a party not long after I arrived in Australia, and I think she asked everyone to bring a plate. So I think at that time, I must because so many people, so they don't have enough plates. So I told her I could bring all my plate there. And after she told me the real meaning, and I just feel so embarrassed.
Well, in Switzerland, if someone asks, well, how are you? You take the questions very seriously. You sit down and you tell them your whole inner self. You tell them if you feel fine or not fine. And so I was actually quite surprised when you just go to Woolworths or shopping and people say, well, how are you? I said, right, well, today, I'm not bad. I had a good day. I woke up quite happy. And I mean, they're not interested in how I am. So I'm quite used to say, yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. Even if I'm not, but I'm fine.
Several young guys in a car drive past me and show this finger to me. I didn't know the real meaning. I think maybe they show this, say hello by this way. I think that's nice. So I waved to them. Later, of course, I know what's that mean. Yeah, I didn't feel angry, but just feel so funny.
Australian people, they don't really singing much. But in Korean, people love singing. If you go somewhere, okay, let's having a fun. Okay, you can sing. And they don't normally say, oh, no. Just say, okay, I will sing it. But in Australia, people, okay, I'm going home now.
First time I've been to Persia, I see snow, I jump on snow like crazy, like, oh my God, this is real. And I look at the sky, let the snow falling on my face, like, oh my God, this is real. Like, I call my dad, it have snow here. And my brother said, "Is it look like in the fridge in our house?" I said, "Yes, but it's soft, it's real. Yeah, everyone's still excited about snow. No one in my family came to Australia. They never seen snow. They never been to area that -0 after under 0 degrees. So it's something that maybe this is something that made me stay in Cooma too. because it's, you know, something different, the climate different.
In the Netherlands, I'm used to rain, and a lot of rain, also in the summer. So when I came here, it was raining pretty hard and a lot. And I wasn't really happy with it, but I should be, because here everybody is happy about the rain. So yeah, now I'm happy with the rain as well.
Staying with different farmers in the countryside, I all of a sudden saw parrots flying around and cockatoos, and so it was great, but I was quite concerned because I went over and said, oh, those parrots, they're all flying around, and they must have escaped somewhere, and we have to go and catch them because they belong somewhere in a cage, or they must have flown away. And the people sort of looked at me and said, like, what is it? And then I sort of dawned it to me that, of course, parrots and cockatoos are part of the wildlife, and they fly around in the wilderness, and they're not in cages like they are in Europe.
Insects everywhere. Not get used to that. Spider everywhere. If you even sleep, I feel very nervous. I feel maybe spider will come down. Yes, that's the first I feel animal everywhere. Even one night I found a scorpion at home. I felt this, what kind of place it is. And I call everyone at home to China, I found a scorpion at home. Yeah, different kind of insect I've never seen before.
One good thing about Australia is you never be old here. Never. You're still always young. Am I right? It's true, yeah.
If I could change, I would make people listen beyond the accent, because the moment they start hearing an accent, they assume that the person is not educated, or, you know, like they're not capable of, you know, handling things. So that's what I would change, to make them listen beyond the accent.
I think that being an Australian is something that, to me, it really emphasises a love for people, a love for nature, a love for the world, and the freedom that we have here, the opportunities we have here is something that I relish. And I think, yes, I'm proud to be part of that.
I'm Australian now. Do I look like? No. We're multicultural, I believe. But it's a beautiful thing about Australia. Yeah. Thank you.
I think people make all the difference anyway, anywhere you go. If they're good people, you tend to stay where you are, and if they're not, you tend to move on.
Once a jolly swingman campfire billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as you watched it, ready to the billabong. You come a waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You come a waltzing Matilda with me. That's it. A lot of people say, really, of course, they're very, very, you know, cute, but have to be a little bit sensible, just a little bit knee down, and then talk nice to the kangaroos. They can actually talk like this.
What did they say?
They said, "Welcome to Australia."